Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining the Redington and MobileIron session. We have Mohan Kumar, our pre-sales consultant from Redington Value, who will be running throughout the session. Please go to the Q&A button on the left. At the end of the session, we will answer all your questions. Mohan, over to you.
Thank you, Ragda. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. So today we're gonna see how to secure the end user devices like iOS and Android. So why mobile security? It's like important, especially in this circumstances. Let's have a look because 89% of the organization they rely on single security, meaning they are like once they have a passcode or a face ID on their mobile, they are assuming it is protected, and 51% they are using public Wi-Fi, and they don't even have a security policy whether this Wi-Fi is genuine or it's SSID from a hacker. So there is no way to check that. And 60% of the user they don't know what is happening. So people using mobile phones for accessing the corporate data, they are not aware of malicious app or URL which is malicious, or even app that looks genuine might able to gather data from other apps like corporate data or any sensitive data to their servers, so which the user is not even aware. So with MobileIron, we have two main things. One is the UEM, which manages the end user's device and give secure access to the corporate resources. And other is the MTD, which is Mobile Threat Defense, which will protect from various type of malicious thing that can happen to end user devices. So with a single UEM client, will get both protection. So first, let's have a look at the basic architecture of MobileIron. So let me put up my pointers here. Okay. So we have this two servers sitting in the DMZ, UEM console and Sentry. UEM console can be an on-prem server or can be a cloud, but the features remains the same. So UEM console is used only for managing the devices, policies, configurations, apps, and compliance policies. And Sentry, it's just a gateway. Upon authorization with the UEM consoles, it will give secure access to the backend resources. If you notice, access is something like access control to the cloud resources. And we also have something called Bridge. Bridge is just a platform to manage Windows 10 laptops. So Bridge helps to push group policies or PowerShell scripts or any executables to be installed on the Windows 10 machines. On the left, if you see, these are the apps from MobileIron, and this is the UEM client for iOS and Android, or you can call it as an agent, which helps to get in touch with the code for any policy updates and sync or any user authorization. And the same client will be used for mobile threat defense. So today in this session, we're going to see much more detail about mobile threat defense. And this is the enterprise app store. So apart from Google Play Store and Apple App Store, organization can have their own app store so that they can publish their in-house apps, as well as they can also pull application from publicly available stores like Google Play and App Store and put it in the enterprise app store. So this will be additional app store in BIOD device, the user-owned device. But if the device is owned by the company, they can totally block Google Play Store and make only enterprise app store available. Or there is an option with Android. There are a couple of ways of deployment, and the customer chooses what deployment suits their requirement. Based on that, we can have either this enterprise app store, or they can still make use of the Google Play Store. And when they have device owner mode, the Google Play Store will only list app published by the MobileIron admin. Okay, and other is the email plus. This is the secure email app from MobileIron for both iOS and Android. And other is the Docs at Work. Docs at Work serves two purposes. For iOS, iOS has a capability of opening any attachment natively, whether it is a PDF, Word, or PPT. But Android's not the case, so you need to have a document viewer. So this docs@work will serve one purpose to open attachment, and other purpose is to connect to their backend resources like a simple file share server or even a SharePoint, or even if it is a cloud 365 or OneDrive, Google Drive. Docs@Works can able to connect any type of repositories. So the user can connect to Docs@Work to fetch their files in the cloud or on-prem. Web@Work, it's again a secure browser. It looks like Chrome or Safari, but will all these application provided MobileIron or App Connect enabled. So when I say App Connect enabled, you have the DLP features. So you cannot copy any content within the App Connect apps and move it outside the App Connect apps. If you notice in the mobile, there is a orange box. So this is a logical container when a device is registered with MobileIron. So anything happens inside the container stays inside the container. And any malicious thing happening outside the container cannot penetrate into the container. Meaning, if any malicious app installed by the user for a PIOD devices, and this app trying to gather some sensitive information from the data within the container, it does not possible because each container has encrypted. So even if the app tries, it cannot get any data out of the container. So apart from this, when App Connect enabled, we'll have a security policies enforced on the container. So any copy paste or sharing will happen only within the container. So any attachment open from email plus cannot be moved through WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or even in a native email. Okay, and you can also block screen capture for Android per application, and you can block the print feature in the iOS. And this is the help@work. Help@work, it's nothing but a remote support. So when a user facing any issue, the EM console admin can able to take remote on the Android or iOS devices so that he can troubleshoot whatever the issue is faced by the user. And we have something called tunnel. So all this App Connect, if you have a backend server for the email and for Docs@Work, the file server, when the device is authorized and the complaints check everything it's fine, then the Sentry will allow access to the backend server. So automatically all App Connect apps will connect to the Sentry upon authorization. So what about the third-party apps? When I say third-party apps, any application available on the publicly available stores. So those apps cannot be made as App Connect. So rather, for an example, Microsoft has to have this app called Power BI or even the Outlook app from Microsoft. And you have a on-prem Exchange server which is not published. So you need to connect only through Sentry. So how you will make that connection? So Tunnel will help you on that. So Tunnel will trigger. So Tunnel can be also performed as a per app VPN. The moment Outlook is open, automatically the Tunnel will be triggered, and it will take you to the Sentry will authorize the connection, and it will take you to the backend server. So that is how it works. So Tunnel is specifically used for third-party applications. And the final one is the authenticator. Authenticator, it's like a built-in authenticator. For an example, if currently we are moving into zero sign-on, and your Salesforce asking you for a credential, and once you have access and authenticator integrated to it, so you don't have to key in any username and password to it. So the moment you open Salesforce on your laptop, your device, managed device, will prompt like you are trying to log in from this device and allow access. So based on your Face ID or HID on the device, once it is authenticated, automatically on your laptop, it will get you inside the Salesforce. So that is the use of authenticator. Okay, so this is a very brief of MobileIron UEM architecture. If you have any queries, just put it on the Q&A section. I'll try to answer at the end of the session. Okay, so let's see the risk overview. So currently there are common iOS operating system level vulnerabilities and Google Android level vulnerabilities, and this is the stats until 2018, and this is the CVSS scoring system as of now. Okay, and these are the common device exploits apps, and these are the network attacks apps and malicious apps. So And when we talk about the attacks, this is classified into three ways. One is the device level, other is the network level, and other is the app level. So when we talk about device level, it can be operating system level exploits or any vulnerabilities in the operating system or any USB exploitation in the Android or iOS. When we talk about network, it is when the user tries to connect to a malicious or untrusted Wi-Fi, mainly the public free Wi-Fi, so that they are opening a door to have a man in the middle attacks or even a reconnaissance scans. And app level, there are so many apps available in the app store, and out of app store also there. For an example, a couple of months back, there is only one WhatsApp supported for iOS. And if you need another WhatsApp, you need to get it from a particular URL. To get it installed, you need to have a profile installed on the iOS. So we won't know whether this profile it's genuine or it's malicious, or it might be capable of sending the data from your device to their own servers. So those we are not even aware. Even the phone, when you install profile, it will allow the app to be installed, any untrusted app which is not available in the app store. So those also will come under the app risk. Let's see some real world examples. So these are the three main attack categories. We'll see one by one in detail. The network attacks, the device configuration, and the silent device attack. Device configuration changes. It's like when a user connects to a Wi-Fi, and the it is on the restriction side. So for an example, if you have trying to browse anything on the internet and the particular Wi-Fi doesn't allow you to reach it, so the user always go for a VPN or anonymizer. So when you install anonymizer or VPN, it will ask you to install a particular VPN profile, so that you will bypass the restriction and you will reach the targeted server. So when you install this VPN profile, this VPN profile will install a SSL certificate, so that it will decrypt the traffic, and we might not know whether the Wi-Fi is a genuine one or someone sitting and publishing their SSID, and they can able to do a man in the middle attack. So what happens if you connect to this? So whatever transaction you're doing on the mobile, it will be visible to the hacker in a clear text. So they can able to get all your, if you're done any banking transaction or even a WhatsApp communication or an email transaction, the man in the middle, the attacker can able to see everything in the clear text. So if you have this mobile threat events on the device, the moment you install this profile, this will check whether the profile is trying to grab any data which it's not supposed to do, or it is unintentionally or unintentionally making any changes on the mobile file system, and it will take action immediately. So it won't allow you to connect to the target Wi-Fi, and it will protect your mobile. And the other example for network attacks, the same, the free Wi-Fi at a coffee shop and you are connecting. People tend to connect to a free Wi-Fi wherever they are, whether it is a coffee shop or airport or even a bus stop. So what will happen? They will redirect to a phishing page. So the moment you connect, and this phishing page will grab all the necessary credentials, or even the attacker can able to exploit into the device. And once the data is exploited, the attacker will gain access to the corporate data. So with this MTD, it will even stop if it is detect Wi-Fi tend to be a malicious one or not a genuine one. If it is trying to decrypt, or it is trying to grab you some data from any third-party applications, MTD will stop the users or stop the device which is already enrolled from connecting to the malicious or untrusted Wi-Fi. Another example, it's like a silent device attack. This is something like, we all know there is an option in WhatsApp, that it's just an example. Also in the WhatsApp, we have an option to save any media files like photo or images automatically stored in the gallery. So what if the image have code exploiting code written to it, and the moment it's trying to save on the gallery, it starts executing. So this will happen even when we are like sleeping or when the mobile is on charge. So we are not even aware. So someone would have sent this image, and by the moment it's saving on the system file, it will start executing and the device will get compromised. So this is the example. So the moment we receive the image, it will be processed. When you say process, it will try to save to the gallery and it will start executing and the exploit will be executed. So based on the code or exploit, it will gain the privilege or it will try to grab the other sensitive information so that the attacker can have control over the device or the data. So what will happen if you have the MTD, the moment the file is trying to save on the file system, MTD will act and it will stop the file being executed. So it will help to protect the device as well as the corporate data which are the user using without even the user awareness. Okay. So let's say, imagine if you could reduce the risk of company and customer data loss, and if you have whole compliance in place, and if you have if the organization should feel secure if the users are accessing the corporate data even from outside through any means, whether they're laptops or mobile devices. So MobileIron has their unique approach. So unlike other vendors, MobileIron is the only vendor who has integrated this MTD in the same UM client. You don't have to put another client for threat defense. So within the same client, you have both UM and MTD. And you have a single management console, whether it is a core or cloud, you have a single management console for the MTD, and you have a single app. Let's see an example like how when a user tries to connect to a malicious or untrusted Wi-Fi, what will happen. See, when the user is trying to connect to a Wi-Fi, which is a malicious one or untrusted, unsecured Wi-Fi. So the moment it is connected, the MTD in the UM client will act and it will notify. See, MTD has detected that your device is connected to an insecure network. Please disconnect your Wi-Fi. So this is the action taken by the UM client. So either you can alert the user or you can block access to the sentry. When you block access to the sentry, what will happen? The user will be blocked from accessing their email or any corporate or any sensitive data. Okay, and even you have an option to quarantine the device. Means whatever the emails or documents accessed by the particular mobile device, the moment MTT has this policy triggered, automatically all the access will be revoked. So he cannot able to use or check his email or get data from his doc server. So it will block total access to the sentry and it will put the device in a quarantine mode. Okay, and this the key differentiator is like it has one app and there is no user action required. If you notice the previous slide, the user doesn't have to do anything. Automatically, when he tries to connect to insecure Wi-Fi, the action will be triggered, and it's 0-day. So there is no signature updates. Like the MTD need not to connect to the cloud server or on-prem server to get the signature updated to act upon any malicious or act upon any threats. So even if it's a new threat or something like 0-day, it will be protected, and everything happens on device. Reason again, it need not, for an example, if it is connected to a malicious Wi-Fi or VPN profile is installed, the MTT doesn't need to check the clouds for its relevant signature to check what action to be taken. So everything happens on the device. Even the device is offline, it will have the action triggered on the device offline. So this is how the other MTT works. So on the device, they'll have a scan. They'll have the scan enabled, and after performing the scan, it will check the detection on the cloud, and it will inform the EMM whether on the cloud or on-prem. And based on the remediation instruction for each policies, to trigger it, will then send to the device back. These are the remediation action to be performed for the each threat or whatever the findings from the scan. So this is how the traditional MTD works. With MobileIron MTD, everything happens on the device. It doesn't need to connect to the cloud for any check or any remediation act. It does, once it is detected, it will recognize which policy it is getting violated and automatically it gets remediated over the device itself. See, and this is very critical. This is some stats. So without doing anything, we can have 3.9 million average total cost per data breach. So it means the loss of critical business data, damage to reputation, loss of customer revenue, fines, and loss of resources. I can give you some. This is example like Wi-Fi is having a network spoof on a bus. So nowadays, bus is having Wi-Fi, and we might not know whether the Wi-Fi is from the bus or someone sitting over there and giving a rogue access point. So with MTD, it will help you to stop connecting such kind of rogue access point. Or if the user is not aware, they'll simply tend to connect to a free Wi-Fi. And in the airport, so there was an attack happened in the airport, and this man in the middle can happen in within 120 seconds. There are so many people in the airport. So if you imagine like someone sitting over there in the coffee shop and publishing his SSID as a free Wi-Fi spot, people tend to connect. So once they're connected, they'll be prone to their man in the middle attack, and they'll lose whatever their sensitive information or whatever the hacker tends to do. And these are the live examples. So Air Canada, a couple of years back, this happened in the improper login activity. 20,000 mobile app users' data were accessed. And what happens, they got their username, email, phone number, and passport, and data got exposed, and they had a huge reputation. So this is a big cost to the company. So. And this is there is another example with the British Airways, the same way. So 3.8 customers' credit card information were compromised, and it has been released. Data stolen between mobile app and the servers. Okay, this is the tweet given by the British Airways. And this is what I was referring to, third-party WhatsApp. So this, for an example, this Tutu app was famous a couple of months back. So people want this Tutu app. It's not available in the iOS App Store. So people who wants to install this app, they need to install a profile. So this profile can be a malicious one. So it can be like getting other personal sensitive data or even the corporate data, and it can send to their own servers, which the user is not even aware. And this is another example of an abusive app. And this app, when it is installed, it is trying to make a connection in the China, and there are more than millions contacts and document files were leaked on the databases. Okay. So these are the example of threats to their professional service property, global semiconductor manufacturer, healthcare, trade organizations. And with MTD, you have these things to be benefited. It's easy to deploy, one app, no user action required, and it is immediate, and you have a risky app analysis. By default, you have app scoring system. So based on the scoring system, you can whether make it as a blacklist or you can also make it as a whitelist. And it's a zero-day detection system, and you have local action, notification, and remediation happening on the device, even if it is offline. Okay. So these are the availability. It is available for both core and cloud, iOS and Android. And these are the, like I mentioned, these three vectors: device level attack, network level, and app level threats being protected by the MobileIron threat defense. So this is it from me. If you have any questions, you can post it on the Q&A. I'll try to get it answered. Let me check on the Q&A. So
thank you, Mohan. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.